Hello and welcome to Winter Grace Senior Ministries. We are joined today by Kristen Lohmeyer of Ally Legal Planning. One of the most important things we can do as we age for ourselves and our loved ones is to be prepared legally for what might come along. So Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. We're glad you're here with us today.
Thanks, Debbie. I'm really happy to be here.
Thanks. So can you please tell me about you and Ally Legal Planning, how you came to be?
Yes, absolutely. So Ally Legal Planning is actually a firm that I started with my sister. So we are both attorneys. We went to law school at the same time. We were actually sworn into the Maryland bar on the same day, despite the fact that we have an 8-year age difference. But, you know, we're not talking about who's older or younger, but it's me. I'm younger. So, But we both worked in different areas of the law. So my sister has worked in estate planning for her entire career. I've had the benefit of working for small businesses and being in the courtroom. And we decided after working for other people that really we just wanted to come together so that we could provide the level of care to our clients that we believed they deserved. So as most people can imagine, billable requirements and the things that you hear about, you know, with law firms, it's not always conducive to good care. And we wanted to have an educational focus and be able to give our clients the time and attention that they need to make these choices. Because when you're dealing with end of life decisions, disability decisions, it's a difficult and emotional topic, and you know, it really deserves the time and attention and care that, you know, it should be given. We want to give that. So that's why we came together to do this.
That's wonderful. So as sisters, you work together. Tell us how, if someone is, I decide it's time for me to do my planning for my end of life planning, my will, and what documents do we need, and
Right.
how do we get started? What do we need?
So what we do is we give a free consultation to everybody, regardless. If you think you need something, call us. If you're not sure, call us anyway, because we'll talk to you and we'll let you know. Sometimes it's as simple as reviewing documents that are already in place, making a few tweaks. Sometimes we have to restart or start from the beginning, depending on the circumstance. So we have an initial call. We get information about your life. So are you married? Do you have children? Do you have an ex-spouse? Do you have children from a prior marriage? You know, what circumstances, as far as, do you foresee the need for care in the future? Where your assets located, and how far will that take you? So once we get that information, we can give you a recommendation, but just talk to you about the different options that are available. Most people, I think, have this idea in their head. They're like, okay, I understand the need for a will. For instance, say if I have minor children, who's going to care for my minor children? But it's so much bigger than that. Everybody should have a will. And it's not just a will. It's your advanced directive, which talks about medical decisions, and your power of attorney for somebody to make decisions for you financially in the event that you can't. So it's not just about what happens after I'm gone, but what about when I can't make decisions for myself? And that's something that everybody should have. And it gives you peace of mind as the individual, knowing you have a plan in place, but it also makes it so much easier on your family, who's going to be making these decisions for you in a time when maybe they're grieving and they're upset. So having that in place it's truly, I call it a gift that you can give to your family and friends. So
Absolutely, because even if I know there's people say, well, I don't have any assets. I hardly have anything. Why do I need a will? But
yep,
you still do.
Here's some things that people may not know. If you don't have a will in place, basically Maryland law will decide what's going to happen to all of your assets. And most people are familiar with the concept of a personal representative. And that's somebody who is appointed by the court who's going to handle your affairs. If you don't have a will in place that names a personal representative, the court's going to decide who it's going to be. Maybe it's somebody that you would prefer wasn't handling your affairs. The other thing people don't know is that under Maryland law, if you don't have a will, your stepchildren are not legally entitled to anything. And that's a big deal. Adopted
Mhm.
children are entitled, but stepchildren, I mean, they're not going to receive anything. You're leaving it up to your other family members to make sure that they receive something. And the other thing that most people don't realize is if you pass away without a will and you also don't have any family, whatever you do have is going to likely either go to the Board of Education for the county where you live or the Department of Health. So, some people might be okay with that, but maybe there's a favorite charity that you would rather give your money to, or a 50c3 like Winter Grace. Maybe that's something that you wanted to decide to have happen. So that's why wills are important for anyone, no matter what. It streamlines the process. It makes sure that your plan, your decisions are going to be carried out when you're not here.
Okay, so the advance directive and the power of attorney are for while you're alive, and the will
Right.
takes over after you pass?
Yeah, so the advance directive is sometimes called a living will because it is talking about decisions that are going to be made when you're alive, but you can't make those decisions yourself. So it's the provisions that are hard to think about. What happens? What do I want done when I'm in an end of life stage? Do I want to be kept on liquids to fluids? Do I want to have pain management? Do I want somebody to, if we all know it, pull the plug? It's not a great way to think about it, but those are the decisions. And the other thing is, do you want to be an organ donor? Do you want to be cremated or buried? What are your preferences for those things? So all of those things are included in the advance directive. And you name individuals, and you can name people to act together, people to act, in priority. And it makes it much easier so that your wishes are really carried out. Another thing that people don't always think about that we include in our advance directives is your preference to be treated for secondary illnesses. Sometimes, people are not doing well and then they're in the hospital and they catch pneumonia or something like that. It's like, do you really want to be treated? Do you want to just, medicate yourself and go out? So those are the things that we address in your advance directive. And then your power of attorney is also while you're living. So somebody's able to access your bank accounts, pay your bills, handle the things that need to be handled when you're unable to do so. So all of those things, that's what we call as a part of the entire estate plan. So they all come together and they work together, and it's important to have every single one of those documents.
That's okay. That really makes the picture much more clear. Thank you. So we call you for an initial consultation, and we say, yes, we want to work with you. Then what happens?
So once we get the information and we educate you about your options, we'll decide on a plan that's right for you. It'll take us anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to get all of the drafts together. And then we get together, whether it's a phone call, Zoom, whether you want to meet face-to-face. A lot of people have been doing Zoom meetings ever since the coronavirus appeared, but we do whatever we need to do for the client. We have a portion of our practice called portable planning where we'll come to you, and we'll come to you wherever you are. So if you want to meet us at your home, suppose you have somebody who has special needs, you can't leave the house, we'll come to you. You can meet us somewhere, we can go to a coffee shop, we'll meet you where you need to be. And after that, we will go through the drafts with you, and then if there's any changes that we need to make, we'll finalize that. And then we'll meet again for a signing. Now, we do have to meet in person for a signing. Maryland has a requirement that you have to be in person for notary. But again, we come to you. We've done driveway signings, we've done backyard signings, so we're making it work. And then once that's done, depending on the type of plan, we'll help you tie up all the loose ends. So if there's assets that we need to put together, maybe you had a trust plan, we'll put that in the trust. If we need to handle items that don't always, that sometimes fall through the cracks, like beneficiary of a life insurance policy, we'll help you change that. So, we help you put it all together. And the thing that we're most excited about is that we do this all for a flat fee. So it's not hourly billing rates. It's a flat fee. You know exactly what you're going to be paying before you sign up with us. That's part of that first time conversation. And it's really great because you have access to us for as much as you need, and it's your comfort level. And I like to tell people that you really need to think about this as a type of insurance, but it's a one-time premium. So we're all used to paying auto insurance and, life insurance, and you're paying monthly for that for years and years and years. Well, this is a one-time premium that's going to really get you that peace of mind and that gift that you can give to your family.
The peace of mind of that is priceless.
Right. Right.
We have just experienced this in our family, a loss last year, and having everything be organized and everything was lined up, and we just had to execute it. So we just had to do, which was plenty of work all on its own, but at least everything was all set up to be very clear, and
right.
And it was really good. It was made a very difficult situation much easier. Certainly not easy because it was still very emotional, but it made the actual, we could grieve, we could spend that time as a family, we could spend time
right,
and not go crazy about trying to figure out the details.
Yeah, and that's really the last thing that anyone should be worrying about in times like that. You should be with family, you should be grieving, and that's why we chose this profession, because we can go to bed at the end of the day knowing we've helped somebody, and they have peace of mind now, but down the road, whenever the inevitable happens, like, they're going to be okay. And that makes it, makes it easy for us to get out of bed and do what we do.
Excellent. Kristen, thank you so much for sharing all that information. Like you said, you love to educate folks, but all of your contact information, everything's here on the webpage. But I just thank you so much for joining us, supporting our ministry, and was there anything else you'd like to add before I'm bringing this to a close? And I should ask you first. Is there
No. Like I said, it's feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. It's not going to cost you anything, and we do want to educate. So that's our main goal, and we're so happy to be a part of this and get out there and tell people, here's what you need to know, because you don't know what you don't know. I'm still learning every day. So
that was one of my big, and one of the things that made Winter Grace come into being when my dad was ill. We didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know what questions we should have had, and so we're trying to educate as well. So
great.
So well, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.